Hello, 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 everyone. It's me, Rebel Trader. We've got some late night swoo action for you here. Gotta get this one done before I can get some sleep, get up, and watch Seattle this weekend. I'm so excited for that. I won't be there in person, but I'll be watching. Late night gaming is fielding two teams, and there's also a local team from Portland. That's who I'm rooting for. But it's gonna be fun either way. And we've got some TTI top 4 here. This month, if you didn't miss the last Top Cat match, we're doing the format's a bit different. I think waiting for me to verify. So each of these players submitted 3 different decks, and they're going to play a round robin, and they're going to use each of these decks once. Which Portland team? The Babu Freaks. So each of these players submit 3 decks. They're going to play each of them once, and they get to choose which. And they both DM me simultaneously with their picks. So Jarol is on the Snoke Data Vault deck that he won last season with a couple new cards, but not a ton. I think he's got 1 Nubian Star Skiff, 1 Dead Ramiro, and then 3 of the Imperial Dark Trooper, and that's it for new stuff. Otherwise, it's just a classic Snoke Data Vault deck. It's super interesting. If you haven't seen it play, it's like it's aggro basically, but he's got Snoke, which is like a massive threat that can just come down and take over the game. And then on Weyoun side, pulling out the Vader yellow. So, I mean, yeah, this is a pretty classic Vader yellow. Also not running a ton of new stuff. Yeah, it's just got 3 A-Wings, 3 Ebon Hawks, and I think that's it. Yeah, I mean, just couple good units from the new set. But yeah, this is just going to be space aggro. He's got the outmaneuvers, 3 of them in the main, in case he needs to exhaust the Grand Arena, which he might. Those outmaneuvers, actually, I could see really making a difference in this game here. Yeah, well, Weyoun is going to be going into space a lot. Jarol's got some things in space, but he's mostly a ground deck. We'll see how that goes. It's going to be a race, I think, to see who can get there first. Yeah, Babu Freaks, yeah, they did pretty well at Portland, being the home team. There was yeah, they had a lot in day 2, quite a few. I think it was more than 2 or 3. Is what, because I think Alex was, Ben was, obviously, God, what's his name? The guy that I can't remember his name. Sorry if you're watching this, but he made top 4 playing CAD. I just can't remember his name. we played a bunch at a store show now, but yeah, so yeah, they're pretty good. So all right, and it looks like we're using a new mod, so it took some time for the cards to load in. But the other mods are struggling with implementing set 6. So we're going to get off to the races here. Oh, Drew. Drew is the guy I was thinking of. That made top 4 with CAD. Yeah, I think there were more than 2 or 3 on day 2. But yeah. Okay. So these players are drawing their hands up. I think I might need to zoom out a bit. Yeah, to get Jarol's hand in there. That looks pretty good. All right. So both these players can be taking a mulligan here. Not quite getting what they want. Double one drops picked up for Weyoun. That's exactly what you want to see. Then he's got also Ebon Hawk and Clone Combat Squad. On Jarol's side, picks up 2-drop into ramp. He's got the new Nubian Star Skiff. Let's pull that one up for those of you that haven't seen it yet. It's one of the only new cards in Jarol's deck. Just a restore unit with some good stats. But it's a space unit, which does matter. We'll see if he's hanging on to it. In this hand, he might actually not, because it's a 4-drop, and he wants to be going 2 into 3 into 5. And he's got some good 5s in hand. So yep, is going to resource the Nubian. And here comes Yularen. Jarol's just going to take initiative. And then the mining tie and the first order tie for Weyoun. That's exactly what he wants to see. Gonna let that Vader engine get rolling. It looks like the Ebon Hawk gonna get resourced there. That's another interesting one. We can pull that up as well. Fortunately, he's going into the resource row, so we won't get to see it in action. But I think, yeah, there's a good case for it. 7th Fleet Defender is pretty powerful with that shield. And it gets around Eager Escort, which is which Weyoun knows is in Jarol's list. So the Vader going to be used here to generate that token just in time. It should just be 3, right? From the Yep, they got it. So yeah, the token comes out, gives the first order TIE Fighter raid, which means it hits for 3 instead of 2. So 4 damage onto Jarol's base. And already an Armada starting to concentrate. Jarol picks up a copy of Command here, which could potentially allow him to ramp and deploy Snoke earlier. He might go for like Traitoress onto 7th Fleet, or he might also go for like Barrage onto Yularen to clear like 3 out of 4 of these units. So we'll see. I'm actually not sure what the move is. I mean, once he sees the Clone Combat Squad come down for Weyoun, like he might be tempted to clear to go for Barrage to clear the mass, but he might also think like going Traitorous into Barrage next turn on the stolen 7th Fleet is even better line. So we'll see. But either way, he cannot let this Clone Combat Squad get out of hand. Let's pull up the Clone Combat Squad. This is one of the main reasons to be playing this Vader deck. Just so powerful. Ramp Snoke can be alright to ping off the shield or kill a unit. Okay, looks like he's going to go... Yeah. So he's going to go Command to ramp and kill the First Order TIE Fighter, which is pretty solid. Saves him 3 damage this turn. And lets him get the Snoke down. Which is going to help him race. And also makes for a bigger Barrage next turn. So Snoke's going to get in for 5. These players even in terms of damage done. But Jarol does have a 3 health advantage natively because it's Data Vault. And here comes the combat squad. Is that combat squad going to be hitting for 7? If my math is right. So, oh god, doing the math here on Barrage is actually kind of complicated. So Barrage can do 7. So if he can go clear out like both these TIE Fighter tokens, and then he can clear the combat squad, yeah. Because you do 5 to the combat squad, then 2. So that's all 7 of the damage. Clears the, yeah. So it would go down to 5. So he can go Barrage to kill it. He other lines he could do. Oh yeah, he's just gonna go for the Barrage. And is he gonna do the thing I was talking about? Yep, exactly. Cannot let that combat squad get hit in here. And things at this point I think are actually looking pretty favorable for Jarol. Double ramp into that big Barrage, and he's got the big Snoke on board. Looks like he's ahead in the race. 7th Fleet's going to get in there. Snoke hits for 8-2. Yep, he does. We might actually see the Mining Guild TIE Fighter here get used to draw a card. The often neglected ability. But it's legit. I remember in set 1, like people were actually playing Mining Guild TIE Fighter as a draw engine for control decks. And another copy of Clone Combat Squad picked up. But because it's off the draw, you can't play it this turn. And then a Salacious Crumb going to come down. We're just going to get to heal 2 with that Yularen. Weyoun can drop a couple A-Wings here. Just the 1-2 raid 1 ships. All right, so Weyoun picks up an outmaneuver, which could be if Jarol doesn't attack with his Snoke right away, like that outmaneuver could get him back into this game. Jarol holding a reinforcement walker in hand, which could also be massive. I'm trying to think, how much damage can Weyoun push through this turn? He's got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on board right now, plus another 5 from the Vader. Still 8 shy. But if he flips onto 7th Fleet, he'll have lethal next round. All right, but Jarol does decide to play around the outmaneuver here and get in with the Snoke. And I think there's pretty much nothing Weyoun can do about that. Like, he can flip and attack. But Jarol's just going to claim and have lethal. Weyoun's thinking it over. Killing 22 here is basically impossible. Yeah, he can't do it, I don't think. I think he was thinking about maybe if he claimed and then outmaneuvered at the start of next round, But even then, like, I mean, that gives him more of a shot, I think. But well, actually, I mean, he takes 3 this turn, so yeah, I think he's dead either way. And Jarol, I think, is just gonna go for Traitorous to try to end this thing right now. And Jarol's thinking over like every way he could possibly lose. I mean, I think there are theoretically, I think there are lines that Weyoun could have from Jarol's perspective. Like I think double surprise strike doesn't even get there. I think triple surprise strike would get there, but I think I don't think Weyoun's running triple surprise strike. And I don't think even triple surprise strike gets there through reinforcement walker. So Jared's gonna play it safe. Wait, did Weyoun end up with initiative there? I think he did, which means he gets to outmaneuver this turn. No, he's just gonna call it. So Jarol, our defending champion, takes game 1 here. Let's take a look at sideboards. Jarol he's got 2 confiscate in the main and the 3rd in the board, probably bringing that in to deal with the Vader if it does come down. And also 2 copies of TIE Ambush Squadron, which is going to help deal with some of those space units. A couple other like Fell, Return, Relentless. I don't think we see those. Those are for the control matchups. But definitely we're going to see those TIE Ambush Squadrons, I think. On Weyoun's side, I'm not sure how. I don't know. I've never really gotten into this Vader deck. I played around with it a couple times, but I'm just not an aggro player. I'm not sure like what things you want for what matchups. Like No Good to Me Dead, it seems like you'd want the 3rd to deal with the Snoke to prevent it from really getting out of hand. Dornian Gunship maybe as just like a big hitter. I don't think you'd want Confiscate in a matchup like this. I mean, even maybe for the experience tokens, but confiscating an experience token never feels that good. All right, we'll see. Looks like 2 copies of No Good to Me Dead in the opening hand for Weyoun, so I imagine it makes it more likely that we saw the 3rd. And then a confiscate in Jarol's hand. He's on some in the main, so not totally surprising that you'd see them. All right. And Jarol sees, again, unit into resupply into barrage. Which is pretty powerful. Weyoun does, again, though, get his double 1-drop start. And no second ramp card, at least not yet, for Jarol. Which the double ramp was definitely key to him winning last game. 2 more 1-drops picked up for Weyoun. Thinking about resourcing one of them and going for, I don't know. I might resource second No Good to Me Dead and just aim to play both these 1-drops this turn to just go wide. Especially if you think your opponent's gonna ramp I don't know. All right, so he's gonna resource the TIE Fighter here. And Vane is going to get the attack in before Weyoun can hit the no good to me dead. So yep, Weyoun playing it well by making the token before attacking with the first order tie. And then drops the A-Wing. And yeah, it doesn't even drop one of the no good to me deads. Can't help but think that might have been a resource decision. And that is just not a great draw from Weyoun. Picking up Barrage plus another 1-drop. Jarol didn't get ramp, but he still has Craving Power. He still has Barrage. Barrage is kind of weak on Devane. Like only being able to do 4. Oh, actually, no, that still kills 3 units. Like it kills A-Wing, TIE Fighter. So I imagine he's just going to do that. Yep. Weyoun is still left with a non-token unit to attack with, so that's good. And it does give Weyoun an opening to play the Snoke and be dead. And he will end up getting value off the second one on the Snoke. So not a total misplay to keep it, I suppose. But his board state has certainly seen better days. Sanctioner Shuttle and Waylay picked up. Sanctioners is like not bad here to capture the Vane. Or potentially something else. See, here's the Snoke out of Jarol. And there's the no good. Jarol holding 2 5s and 2 copies of this Salacious Grim. So I think we're definitely going to see one of the Salaciouses hit the board. And the question is like whether or not you go for like Timely for 2 or for this Craving. I imagine it's going to be Craving, probably just on Devane to kill one of these Y-Wings. I guess he could play it on the Salacious also. Like, that's pretty funny. Yeah, he is going to play it onto the Salacious. Just to kill that ready Y-Wing. It distributes the power a bit more evenly. So there are real strategic rationales for going for it. Yeah, I mean, Sanctioners is one of the big ones. How do you put it on Vane? He'd have less power on the board right now. It says this almost feels like a troll game. So, I mean, it kind of is, right? Like both players are just answering what the other is doing. But Weyoun does have the chance to flip Vader this turn and like actually kind of explode. And it looks like we're going to see an early Vader here, not playing for the extra token. And it's going to be onto the Sanctioners. And Jarol, it looks like, resourced the Confiscate that we saw in his hand earlier. And so we're going to see just Timeline Reinforcements for 3 come in here. Fairly effective as a blocker for this Vader attack. Remember, they do have Sentinels for the phase. So Jarol is not going to take a hit to face from this big Vader with the Sanctioners. And it looks like Weyoun's just going to claim, say, I'll wait until the Sentinel wears off. No need to really push here. And also gives him a chance to outmaneuver Jarol's ground arena here. Ooh, but Jarol picks up the confiscate for turn. And so using the outmaneuver, going to have consequences here. The Weyoun does have another Sanctioner shuttle. If he wants to use it here, can just clear one of those X-Wings out. And now would be the optimal time to do it, if he's planning to do it on an X-Wing, that is. Weyoun says more interaction than one would usually expect. Yeah, I mean, this is like surprisingly drawn out game for two decks that are ostensibly aggro decks. Weyoun thinking about whether or not he does want to go for Sanctioners or for Ebon Hawk, and it is going to be for Sanctioners. And Jarol's just forced to claim here. He's got two cards that do nothing in hand. Then Weyoun gets in for 3 damage there. Ooh, Victory Leader picked up for Weyoun. That could be a game changer. Ooh, but Traitorous picked up for Jarol. If the Victory Leader comes down, that could be like even more of a game changer. All right, but before any of that happens, Snoke is going to get in for his first big hit. And Weyoun got to be glad that he has double Victory Leader if we take this Traitorous into account. So it looks like Weyoun's going to slow roll the Victory Leader here, not dropping it just yet. Perhaps he's playing around like Traitorous or something. Or perhaps he's trying to put Jarol and having like a reinforcement walker and like tapping himself out of ways to deal with Victory Leader. All right, so we are going to see the Traitorous coming down onto the Victory Leader. Is that going to get met by the second Victory Leader? Let's pull up Victory Leader. It is. The second Victory Leader has hit the space arena. So now Weyoun showing 8 damage between all these units. X-Wing, yeah, X-Wing is going to crash into Victory Leader here. It's going to be doing 3 because of the stolen Victory Leader, which sets up for a kill next turn, really. Fanny can attack and move the XP to the X-Wing and force a trade. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he could have done that. You're right, Levi. Let's pull a Fanny. Jarol, I guess, just didn't see that line or decided against taking it, wanting more experience for the Snoke. Yeah, and in case you're not following chat, what Jarol could have done, as Levi Pons pointed out in the chat, is Vanne's on attack could have moved one of the experience points from Snoke to the X-Wing when it was still alive, which would have allowed the X-Wing to threaten to kill Victory Leader, which forces Weyoun to either accept that or to like attack one of his shuttles into it. Victory Leader is going to go down here thanks to the friendly fire from the other Victory Leader. Oh, did Weyoun forget to make a TIE Fighter last turn? It looks like I have Scion going to be coming down for Jarol. This is a spicy one of that he's got in there that happens to be really good in exactly this situation. Snoke gets in for 6. Lurking TIE Phantom coming down for Weyoun. And the Yvonne Hawk going to make an appearance for Weyoun. Let's pull that one back up. No, actually, I had this mixed up in my mind. It was you disclose hero to give it the plus attack, and you disclose villain to give the enemy -4. I mean, that could be relevant if he wants to use it to trade out some of these units. But it's just attacking for 3. And a bunch of 1-drops picked up for Weyoun. That's the thing with this Vader deck is that it can really explode early, but once you get into the late game, its stuff is just all too predictable. Snoke gonna get in there for, we're up to 7 now, which is threatening lethal, and I don't think there is anything that Weyoun can do about it. Oh yeah, they're saying there should have been 2 overwhelmed from I have Scion last turn because of the Victory Leader. So that means Jarol's presenting lethal in 3 different ways, and Weyoun's gonna call it. So Jarol taking a swift 2-0 with this Snoke deck in our first in his first match of the season of the Top Cut. Sorry. So I don't believe we have any of the other rounds scheduled yet. But Jarol still has yet to play his Dedra Blue deck, which I think is a fairly control-y shell, and Sabine Yellow. So next round, he's gonna face up against Uncle Rico, and Rico's got to guess, like, am I gonna play against hard control or super fast aggro? You know, pick your poison. Weyoun has Han 2 blue and Han 1 green left to play. He's gonna be matched up against Ducks in the next round. So thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to check out some Seattle coverage tomorrow. And remember to always take